This is a very interesting temple. Hundreds, perhaps thousands of these lyles, flying foxes, hanging in the trees here in and around the temple. These flying foxes are often persecuted and in fact caught and eaten in much of their range, so most of the known populations now are restricted to temple gardens or private parks. The incredible bone structure that makes up this wing. The bats themselves can weigh up to almost half a kilogram, so it's a substantial amount of weight that those wings have to lift off the ground. At one point I was filming a bat, and at first I thought it was raining, and then realized the poor thing was being urinated on by another bat from above. I was certainly glad that I was filming from the side at that point. These flying foxes are fruit-eating bats, of course, and they will sometimes raid fruit orchards. Perhaps that's another reason why they've been persecuted in the past. Now, this has to be the weirdest caterpillar that I've ever seen. 20 of these sort of feathery fronds coming out of the back, each ending in a little yellow tip. It just takes the cake.
Thousands of aerial pencil roots sprouted out of the swamp, allowing the white mangrove trees access to oxygen. We noticed there was some life in the form of tiny crabs. One of them seemed to be trying to find a home in a climbing whelk shell. Amongst the crabs we found mudskippers, which from a distance are barely distinguishable from the mud. But on closer inspection, their colorful eyes and shiny bodies are quite something else. Their eyes sit on top of their heads, and this provides them with a panoramic view. Because they have no tear ducts, they roll their eyes back into their sockets to keep them moist.
There's an area just north of the Namasari Channel that we've come to dive fairly frequently. Right up at the top where it begins to narrow, you get these incredible water lily forests. Big lotus lilies begin to hang and drift in the current. The way hippos generally move around and underwater in this area, they make these clear pathways that seem to meander just up the riverbed. Almost every dive that we do, we drift along these pathways and you can see hippo footprints. As we get further south, down the false mouth, that's where these big papyrus caves start to really open up. We don't often see freshwater crabs in the system, and just as we left the hole, on the edge we found these two crabs that seemed to be in a bit of a tussle. The slightly bigger one had completely dominated the other and actually had turned it upside down and pinned its head to the ground. This croc wasn't shy of us at all, and just inside the cave he began to stop and rest, despite us being so close to him. We managed to steady ourselves in the current and get quite a close look at this croc. This guy must have been here for at least the past half an hour. They really are masters of the underworld. We drifted further south to find a place to exit, eventually finding a good place to climb out.